All right, guys, welcome back to the Connected to the Web podcast. I have a super fun lady here today that we're going to have some fun. I'm going to try to keep it to less than a 4-hour podcast because when her and I start going, it's hard to stop us. So, Michaela, thank you so much for coming today. I know you have a lot going on in your life right now, and I appreciate you carving out a small little amount of time and being here. So I appreciate it.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Well, let's start off with who you are and where you're from. You have a beautiful accent I'd like you to share with us while you talk, and then let's let the audience know where you get that accent from.
All right. So I'm actually German. I came over here as an adult at the young age of 23 to get married in Kansas, and stayed there ever since. So Kansas, back to Germany a couple of years. Then we went to Washington State to live there for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Then back to Germany, and then we stayed for good in Georgia. So came over in 2000. In 2003, I got divorced. I remarried. In 2005, we moved to Maryland and have been in Harford counties ever since. 20 years now.
We call that a transplant. Well, you have a different kind of transplant. Normally, I say when someone's born in Pennsylvania or Georgia and they're Maryland to transplant. You're a country transplant. All that moving around, is that military?
That was military.
Okay,
yes.
Just sounds
and
like
then
it. Okay.
My second husband retired at the time, and so he was stationed. Well, he went as a contractor to Kuwait.
Okay.
For like 15 months. I went 4 times.
Oh goodness.
Absolutely loved Kuwait.
Yeah.
While my ex-husband took care of the kids.
He's Mr. Mom for a while.
Yeah, and then he didn't want to stay away anymore, so he decided to contact his cousin in Baltimore who was flipping homes at the time.
Ooh, okay.
So he went back to do contracting work. Not quite as nice as the Kuwait one, though.
Yeah.
But we stayed here and then moved within Harford County quite a few times.
So people that aren't from Maryland usually notice the humidity. Now, you've been in a couple different places, Washington State, including, which has its own, set of rain and humidity and everything. But do you notice the humidity's weird here? Like you just sweat standing still?
So Washington State is a lot like Germany.
Okay.
It's actually not humid. It's very mild, unless you're up in the Cascades where it rains like 330 days a year.
Yeah.
But we were down in the Puget Sound, so in the Bay
It's
Area.
beautiful out
It was
there.
absolutely gorgeous. Mild weathers, hardly ever over 90, which I love. I'm not a hot person. So winter times were mild. We got some snow, but not frigid cold. Georgia, 100% humidity. That's where we moved next.
Yeah.
So extremely hot, high humidity. I remember I got there early June. A couple of weeks after that, we went to a flea market. There's a huge flea market in Savannah. And
I love Savannah.
I died. I mean, I was like...
You said I died.
Everybody else wasn't sweating, but I was like...
What is going on here?
I was sweating away. I drank so much, I can't even remember. I was constantly thirsty. I think I was still jet lagging too. So
yeah.
It was just awful. June and July in Georgia is 100% humidity.
Yeah.
You go outside, you're wet. The AC doesn't even literally take all the humidity out of your house. It's just gross. So when we moved up here and people say, oh, there's a lot of humidity. Oh, no, there isn't. Like
it went back down for you. You were glad it went back down.
Yes. So it was... I'm like, what are they talking about? It's not humid.
Well, that's so interesting. I've been to Savannah, and what I remember in Georgia, and then the very, very tip of South Carolina, which is 20 minutes from Georgia, is that sleeping. You sweat a lot when you sleep because the air conditioner just can't keep up.
No, it's just impossible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just everything is always gross.
I'm reading your facial features are like gross.
And then on top of that, the mosquitoes. So
yeah, oh yes, absolutely.
Mosquitoes love me. So
that's so kind.
I always say they're just hovering outside the front door, waiting for me to come out. I literally had 10 bites from the front door to the car. They were literally waiting for me to come out.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you.
The nice thing though was we only were an hour and 15 minutes away from Jekyll Island.
Okay.
Nice little beach.
Yes.
Nice little island. I prefer over St. Simon's Island, which was right next to it. Quiet. Nice, like low beaches, great for the kids.
Yeah.
They can run, not overrun. They had showers and bathrooms right there. My daughter lost her pacifier at the alligator pond, and she was terrified of that for forever.
Okay, I need to ask you about
Yes.
that. So, yeah, that's a layup. So, lost a pacifier at an alligator
Yes.
pond.
So
Was there an alligator there?
Yes. So
Okay.
she was about 2 years old, and we went there for a camping weekend. There was a little
Sure.
campground close to the. They have like a fishing pier there, so
Mhm.
it was really cute. And there was an alligator pond, and my husband.
Marked? Was it marked like
It's
alligator pond? Okay.
yeah. So they live there. It's in the woods, and my husband wanted to go there, so we went to visit to see the alligators.
Oh my gosh.
And I had her on my arm, and her pacifier fell into the water out of her mouth. And there comes this alligator, like
Just-
jumping out of the water to catch her pacifier. So every time the alligator went under.
Oh my.
Yes. So it was really dramatic. So every time that alligator opened its mouth, because there's air in the pacifier kept popping back up. And the alligator went back after it. And all my daughters say, "Alligator ate my yaya! The alligator ate my yaya!" I'm like, oh my God, this kid is traumatized for the rest of her life.
Well, at first you're like, no, and then
Yeah, and then we all like
Oh.
jumped back because now we didn't know, and it was just so dramatic, but we had to watch it. I was like,
I mean, not to get crazy about it, but I'm so glad that you were holding your child. Now that seems silly, but
Yes.
I don't know if you heard like 10, 11 years ago down in Disney, a child did the same
Yes.
thing, not a pacifier, in one of the
ponds
big
there.
resorts, and boom, just that quick, and
right.
the father was right there.
Yeah, you can't get them out of their teeth. if
No,
they catch you,
and they
so.
and they go. So I'm
Yeah.
just so glad that you made that choice.
Yeah, of course
you
we
know?
all jumped back too because we were like just all like, what just happened?
Oh
So.
my gosh! Well, that's a very memorable experience. They say the two best creators of memories are pleasure and pain.
Yeah, well, that was painful.
That was painful. Oh my gosh. Okay, so you're in Maryland. So
Yes.
you did not take my bait about the humidity because you were in
Nope.
Georgia. So Maryland's a nice little step down on that scale. And then you've been in Hartford County for, say that again, how many years?
20 years now. Almost to the date. We moved up here March 30th, 2005.
I'm just still wrestling with the fact that 2005 was 20 years ago. That's just me.
So we lived in Edgewood first.
Okay.
So finding a house during the big housing boom
Oof.
was a bit rough.
Yeah.
So I actually found the house in a snowstorm. I do everything
Of
a little
course.
of the dramatic side.
Yeah.
So everything has a story. So I came up here, stayed with my cousin, and it was February, and it was a snowstorm,
Yeah.
and I didn't really have a chance to go anywhere else. The realtor that I had up here, of course, she can't tell me anything about areas where it's good. I had no clue.
Yeah.
So I came up here and went house hunting with his cousin. And so we were driving around, and they had just literally put the for sale sign outside.
That big
day.
white L thing.
The L thing,
Yeah.
and then there were some flyers in there, so I took the flyers.
Was it snowing at that time?
It was a snowstorm. It was a blizzard. I mean, it was.
So some guy was putting that thing out in the blizzard?
There was nobody out there. It must have been early in the day, but
Okay,
it was
yeah,
like
yeah.
brand new that day. It
Yeah.
wasn't even really on the market yet. You couldn't find it anywhere online
Okay.
for that matter. So he had just put that out, and I took at it. I said, I like it. Had no clue where I was. I don't know what Edgewood is. I come from Georgia.
Yeah.
So
Well, from Germany to Washington to Georgia to Maryland.
Yeah, almost.
Give or take.
Yeah, give or take. A couple of years in between.
Yeah.
So it was in a nice neighborhood. It was Harbor Oaks, so past the high school.
Okay.
So it was cute. So I said, okay, I want that one.
Let's do it.
Didn't even see it because I didn't have time. I had to go back to Georgia.
It's tough. No,
yeah,
it's tough.
it's tough. And we didn't have time to wait. So
How many days did you have up here to look before you had to
I
go
came
back?
Friday, and we looked at it Saturday, and then I had to leave Sunday because my husband's uncle passed away. So I
Oh.
had to fly back to Georgia, get my kids, hop in the car, and drive to Dallas.
And we'll get to that in a second, that traveling becomes very natural to you, and you are from overseas. We'll get to that in
Yeah.
a minute, but I'm starting to see a pattern here where traveling is just
Yeah, it's
all
just
around your
part of
life.
it, yes.
Okay. All right. So I'm kind of seeing, understand where you're going with it. This right. We're good. We're good. We're good. Okay. So I have to ask you about Germany. So my brother-in-law was stationed at the German base, the American base, for a couple of years. My sister was there, had nothing but amazing experiences, and she told me some really interesting things about travel that we'll get into later. That I would love to see if you kind of talk about them too. So what can you tell me about growing up in Germany? That's a very unique thing about you.
So growing up in Germany is quite a bit different than here.
I would imagine.
So you have a lot more freedom.
Okay. When you say freedom, what do you mean?
So as
Choices?
children, no, as children, you are brought up to be more independent
Okay.
and less mothered.
Less mothered.
Less mothered than here. Like,
Okay.
You're expected to do certain things. Everything is based on results.
Okay. I like that.
Yes, so it's nobody will ever give you the participation trophy. You earn you earn it.
Oh God, I'm gonna swallow that one. That's great.
If you do not deserve it, you will not get it.
Okay.
And what it does is it makes you work harder. If you want the trophy,
yeah,
you're gonna work for it, right? So, during the school year, for example, here, what I noticed with my children, there's a lot of repeat. We don't have that. You learn it once, and you better learn it.
Yeah.
Because it's not coming back.
Okay.
You don't get graded like constantly. You get graded on 1 or 2 big tests per semester and 1 or 2 quizzes. That's it.
Is that the way it is now?
It's been always like that.
Okay.
You are not graded for
you and I haven't been in school for a couple years.
Yeah, I know, but it's still the same way.
I was going to ask. Okay, great.
You're not getting graded for homework that's expected. You're not being graded for schoolwork.
Okay.
You can never, ever pull your child out for vacation.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, so that is not approved. It will not happen. Your school has plenty of vacations, and that's when you take your vacations.
Okay.
Now, every county, so to speak, every state or county in Germany has it a little different dates.
Okay. That was a lot different.
But we went always on vacation during vacation. So in Germany, you get like 25 to 30 days of vacation every year.
Okay.
From start, when you start working. I went through, there's like several different school systems. There's a basic, where usually like the masons and the beauticians and more of the labor will go to, trade specific. Then there is the highest level where you have all the architects, the doctors, the teachers. They go through the highest level of education. So I was, and then there's branches. So it's kind of like here with the tracks that they take. So I was actually in a math and science track because my mom at the time decided to put me in a private school because whatever, I don't know what reason.
But there are private school options separate from public.
Yes.
That's kind of similar though, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, but it was a boys' boarding school
Interesting.
but it was open for other students to join during the day, but a boys' boarding school. So I was there. So we were literally 3 girls in a class of 25. Wonderful for a girl.
Yes. Yeah.
So the best part about it, they had like this curver stand right outside. So we went there quite often.
I bet.
Anyhow, so we went by bus. Like in Germany, you as a 6-year-old, you go on a public bus to go to school.
Wow.
So we don't have school buses like here, and schools are out at different times, so you couldn't do that.
That's fascinating.
Yeah. So and then when I left, I mean, during my childhood, we went on vacation every year: Austria, Italy, Switzerland, you name it. Austria, former Yugoslavia, which is now the area of Bosnia, Croatia.
And that's what my sister said. That a 4 or 5 day vacation, you are visiting multiple countries.
Yeah, I mean,
because it's 6-7 hours
for me, Austria was 2.5 hours away.
Right.
Italy, the northern part of Italy, Venice, 6 hours.
Right.
I mean, it's easy, and you get all the Italian food.
Yep.
Yum.
I mean, a 6 to 10 hour trip is a 1 day thing.
Yeah.
And one stay over, enjoy, and come back.
I mean, from here, it gets you to Boston or to North Carolina.
Yeah. That's actually what I was thinking. Is the Carolinas, which is nothing.
Not even South Carolina, because
right. It's a lot larger, closer to Savannah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what my sister said is that everybody is. It's like it's understood that you're just like, what country are you going to visit this weekend? And even a weekend, quick journey is
it's easy.
Another country because it's that you all share the border.
And back then it was still different currencies, so I had left before they became euro. So it's kind of weird.
The EU, is that the right word?
Yeah, they become of the EU. But they were part of the EU, but to have the same currency came later. And then with school, for example, we did a lot of school trips. My 10th year graduation trip, we went with the teachers. Really funny. We go with the teachers to our end of year school trip, and we went to northern Italy. And we drink with them too.
That's just, wait a minute. All right, two things here. First of all, you just went to Italy with your teachers as a vacation for the 10th grade celebration.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it was with your teachers, and then you drank.
We were drinking, yeah.
So how old at 10th grade? You're 16. What, 16? Okay. Yeah. And that's more common over there.
So not liquor.
No, obviously.
Because the
wine,
beer and wine is pretty much standard in every household for every dinner. But we did that. And
not to take a real big tangent here, but my understanding is, this is based on my limited experience with my sister and through talking to friends, is that because it's introduced at a young age, the abuse level is a little different because it's considered common.
There's no interest
to moderate.
Yeah, there's just literally no interest, and I feel like, and I see it here a lot, and I know this is getting a little bit off, but I always feel a lot of times here in the States that people need a reason to drink, and when they feel they need a reason to drink, it's their allowance to get drunk.
Yeah.
I don't drink that way. I drink for enjoyment.
You don't drink to get drunk.
No, I drink because I'm with some people. I enjoy a glass of wine, have a cup of beer, and that's it. I don't sit there and gulp it in just because today's Cinco de Mayo. Let's have 5 margaritas instead of 1, right?
Yes. That's good example. Yeah. That's a good example. Because my wife said, I'm going to get a little small little tequila. We don't get tequila in the house. And let's just have margarita tonight. And we're excited about that. 1 margarita, salt the rim, we're done,
That's okay. But and then back coming to alcohol now, margaritas, I enjoy my margarita on a beach much more than at a bar in Harford County.
Absolutely. That's a great point.
It tastes different.
Yeah. But that's part of the whole culture is that part of
yes.
just hanging out. And let me just, again, not to digress too much, but I'm just so curious. When you were a teenager, from what you just said, there wasn't this drive to sneak it and to overuse it because it was so prevalent. That's very interesting. I'm wondering when we'll get to that point, because children are given so many extra liberties. Then, not going to argue this, maybe they should in America, but it's just odd that they don't allow the family to slowly introduce that, to take away the desire to abuse.
Yeah, and I had some experiences when my children were younger. We lived in Edgewood at the time. My oldest daughter went to a neighbor's for a graduation party. A couple hours later, I got a phone call from one of their friends that was often came over for dinner. They lived in the neighborhood. He said, Miss Michaela, can you come help us? We have a girl here that's passed out. So they they went into the woods, decided they're going to empty a couple bottles of hard liquor. The girl
that's another thing.
At some point, she was completely out, non-responsive. I told them they need to call 911. I called 911 because, no, she just needs to sleep. I said, no, she's going to be dead.
Yeah.
So let's call 911. And this is what we really don't have over there. There's this
That's fascinating.
Because it's not being made a big deal, and the reason why we drink is different. So it's sad, that they keep it here. It's their rules. I don't know if they're ever going to get lighter on it.
Unbeknownst to you, I had this very similar conversation about a month ago on a different topic, but we got to the same conversation of, and I'm not even advocating for it, by the way.
No, it's not advocating.
It's a conversation
it's
to just have.
Sense.
Right, like there's an urge for even adults, let's be honest, that things that are taken away, removed, or over moderated, those exact things get abused.
Well, and it's like you're a teenager, right?
Yes.
So as a teenager, you know better than your parent.
Yeah, don't hit the red button. Don't hit that red button.
So it's like you literally have to do reverse psychology. So go ahead and drink. I guarantee you, they don't come home drunk.
Yeah.
They don't do it behind your back.
So let me ask you this. So as a teenager, what was the rebellious thing to do in Germany during your growing up?
Whew. So for me personally, I was the only girl. I had 2 brothers. I was the only girl. My mom was divorced. I wasn't allowed to do a lot of things because I was a girl.
Okay.
Like sleepovers didn't happen.
Even with girlfriends?
No.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, that just didn't, because you don't know what happens, right?
Okay.
So because I was so restricted, I skipped out a few times. Let me go to a party. No.
Oh, when you're supposed to be.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right, I was curious.
My mom usually fell asleep on the couch. So I'm like.
Oh, that's so. But did you climb down the side of a house?
No, I just left, and then one day I went to a party, and this is a funny story. I fell asleep.
At the party.
Yeah, I
Okay.
had one beer, my first beer ever, and I got tired and laid down.
It is a
fell
depressant.
asleep.
Like,
Well,
it
that's
will make you go
depressing.
to
Yeah, I
sleep.
mean,
Yeah.
I was like 14. I wasn't even that old yet. I was 14.
Okay.
But I knew I wasn't allowed to go. I had a 17-year-old boyfriend at the time. My
Oh, my
mom would have
goodness.
never let me go. I didn't even ask. Was not even a question. And if the party was literally like in the apartment building in like a clubhouse. So
Okay.
it wasn't far. I could have walked, but she would have never let me go.
Oh,
Ever.
boy.
So I snuck out and fell asleep. And I shared a room with my brother. So he had to get up the next morning early for a school trip. It was like a Catholic after First Communion day trip or whatever. So they went that day. And he looked over to my side and saw I wasn't in my bed.
Oh, so when you say fell asleep, you don't mean for a few hours. You went to sleep that night.
I sleep. When I sleep, nobody wakes me up. I'm
so
done.
It's the morning.
It's still like
he's getting up early and you're not there.
No. So he goes to my mom. Michaela's not here. And of course now, so I wake up around 7 o'clock. I said, oh boy, I already knew. Yeah, so I waited and waited and waited. So I finally got home. My mom was sleeping on the couch waiting for me. And
you were sneaking by.
Back in my bed. About half an hour later, I was woken up really abruptly. It was not pretty.
Yeah.
And then I was grounded. Well, I got a pretty good whooping. It was still allowed back then, by the way.
Yeah.
And in Germany, anyways.
Yes.
But that wasn't pretty, and I got called quite a few names, and I was grounded for 4 weeks after that. And back then, we didn't have cell phones, so
yes.
As soon as my mom called to make sure I was home, that was it. So I snuck out again. I wasn't always the best girl.
So that lesson didn't get learned right away.
Oh, it got, it
took a few times.
But that was the big one. I never really snuck out after that again, because that's just not a good thing to do. But I mean, I like being with my friends. I mean, like every teenager does.
Sure.
And I knew I wasn't allowed to do certain things, and this is exactly it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not allowed to do it, so I'm finding a way to do it anyway.
Which is what we talked about.
Had she allowed me to go, I would have probably been home at my curfew at 10:30 or 11 o'clock and just come home and, and she'd be happy and I'd be happy.
My wife and I are in the middle of having those conversations now because my son doesn't have a huge desire to go to these parties that I know are inappropriate. But at some point, if we don't expose him a little bit and just let him go a little bit, not to waste time, but it's an interesting conversation we're having right now.
I have 6 kids, so most of them are grown.
Yeah.
The youngest is 16, almost 17. And I have to say that it's a fine line.
It's a fine line.
So I always erred on the side of trust. This is the rules. This is what we're going to do.
Right.
I can trust you. If you break it, it goes away.
Mm-hmm.
I fared fairly well. I mean, I'm pretty sure my kids said stuff that I don't know anything
about.
Oh, my
gosh.
And if they didn't...
It's naive to think they didn't.
And that's totally okay. I mean, they didn't get in major trouble. Nobody came home early pregnancy or on drugs or whatever. They're all good. But, I mean, they're all going to do stuff. And what gets me these days with, social media and all that are these parents who are like, my child is this and this. And I'm like, what was it when you were that age?
Yeah.
Think back at it. It wasn't always like 100% control over your child.
No way.
And I trust my kids. I go to sleep at nights when they're out because if it's out of my control.
I have to talk to my wife about that, and it's an evolving conversation. Mm-hmm. So as I'm growing up, I lived deep in the country in northern Maryland, almost the PA border, and the major new development that had like 60 kids my age in it was 2 miles away. So back then, number one, you don't have cell phones, you don't have social media, you have a house phone. You're at school, you talk about a general plan with your friends, and you say, I'll have my mom call your mom, you get back and make the plans, right? Well, I had 4 siblings growing up, so my mom can't take me, and I said, can I go? I rode my bike 2 miles, and she said, I'm going to call and verify to the mom, hey, Debbie, Joe's coming over? Great. All right, cool. He's going to call when he gets here. Great. Click, right? I drive my bike. This is the trust that they give me. I drive my bike 2 miles all over the place, get to the house, and then call and say, hey, I'm here. And she goes, great. Call before you leave, right? That's the way it was. I'm not saying that's okay now, but
kind of how I did it with my kids.
I'm hearing that, My wife would probably be like holding on to something.
Yes.
knowing that.
And
But
for most people, I'm way too easygoing. So
yeah,
a lot of times I just have to submit.
but you're building that trust, right?
I mean, I raise my children to be independent people that don't need me
Yeah,
beyond school, pretty much. Once they're an adult, they have to face the world, but I can do it for them. And I have 6. I can't do it for all of them.
right.
So I have to, and they have a great relationship within each other. So there's always somebody who'll give somebody a ride,
Yes,
or
yes.
they meet each
Once
other.
they all get
they
older,
go
right?
together as they get older. So it's a little easier maybe when you have more, and you have
I
to
think so
shift
too.
it off a little bit.
Hmm.
I mean, you have 4. That's pretty close. So,
Yeah.
but you'll get there. I mean,
I like to think that some of the your approach to that is from your German upbringing,
yeah,
and I think there is a part of America that's lacking in that, where
yeah,
the accountability is a little stretched from the
yeah.
parents' side too, and we can talk another hour
Yeah, I
about
mean, you
that.
just give them the rules and you explain to them
Yeah,
the consequences of their
yeah,
behaviors, and
cause and
then they
effect.
have to make the decision whether they do this or that.
Yeah,
But if they do that, then they have to face the consequences if
right.
there are any.
And that's again, we've got some fun conversation. I could have another 2-hour
Yeah,
conversation on that.
just on that. Yeah,
One of the things in my house, because my wife was an only child for about 10 years till her younger brother was born,
it's very
is
different.
that I don't need to yell at them when they do something
Right.
as much, because I say, this is what we're going to do.
Right.
This is what's going to happen if you don't do it. And I can discipline non-emotionally and say, well, I said if you jumped, when you land, your feet are going to hurt. So when you jumped and your feet hurt, Daddy, my feet hurt, we know why, right? So if they break a
Mhm.
rule, I'm like, hey, I'm not emotionally charged about it. You got to go to your room and you got to give me your electronics because you broke the rule.
Right.
And my wife still challenges all the
But that's
time.
boundaries.
It's boundaries. It's boundaries.
It's a boundary. You tell them, if that, then that.
Yep, if
and then
them.
you stick with it, because if you don't,
Gotta stick with
gotta
it.
stick with it. If you
Yes.
don't, you lose.
Yes. Okay, so awesome
Let's go back.
conversation. So let's get you from Germany. You saw the man in uniform.
Yes.
You had an American sweeper off your feet. You
Mhm.
came over to U.S. We went from Germany to Washington to Georgia up to Maryland. Let's talk about your careers
Yes.
in this timeline you've
Right.
created of your world travels. Okay, so what is the name of your business?
The name of my business is Global Destinations LLC.
Global Destinations LLC. So that's a travel agency.
It is.
So this is going to be a layup for you, but tell me how you got to the travel industry with your careers, because I know you've had a few.
So none of my previous careers really had anything to do with travel.
Okay.
I was on Facebook and I like to travel. So I go on little trips here and there. Nothing maybe big for 16 years. So I got here in 2000 to stay, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
I did not travel outside of the U.S. for 16 years. There was different reasons why I couldn't go back, but mainly the kids, finances.
Sure, sure.
So after 16 years, I started going back to Germany.
Oh, that's so great.
And then whenever I was there, I would go to other places, or I would take somebody with me, like one of my kids, and show them around.
Oh, that's great.
How I grew up, whatever. And I posted about that, of course, on Facebook. And there was this one lady that somehow found me. And she kept bugging me. She said, "Why don't you become a travel agent?" I said, no, I don't think so. And I travel for myself, I plan it, but I don't know if I want to do that. And the funny thing, when I went to college here at HCC, I had a computer class
Okay.
about the Microsoft suite. And one of my assignments was to build a trip.
Oh, shut up. That's funny. Look at that.
So, using all the Microsoft
technology.
Suite elements.
Mhm.
So, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and I don't know what else. So, of course, I know all about Germany. I put out a trip for Germany.
Yeah, that's a
Do the
easy one.
detail, when the train is leaving, what state, whatever. So, I got an A on it, of course, right?
Congratulations.
But that was my very, very first real
Itinerary
building thing, and I had a lot of fun with it. So
Okay.
that kind of came back. Then a good friend of mine became a travel agent right before COVID. And I said, "Oh, that's interesting. She does that. That's something I might like. I don't know. I'll think about it." So this lady kept bugging me.
Mhm.
I need a change. And she kept kind of like popping in on me. "Oh, you went to another trip. Why don't you use that and become your own? Why don't you make money on booking your own trips?" And I'm like, "Oh, she's got a point, right? So I
That's
kept
interesting.
thinking about it.
She's very
and
persistent.
yeah, she was very persistent. I'm like, okay, she wouldn't leave me alone. So then came my point when I wanted to change. I said, okay, so I have 3 years left for my youngest child to leave
Oh, the
school.
nest.
I
Yeah.
can then travel more when
Mhm.
he's out of the house because then I don't need to take care of anyone anymore.
Yep.
That sounds like a good plan. So I have 3 years to build this business. I can do this. So I made a plan. And I said, okay, I'm going to do this.
Awesome.
That's how it started. And that was May 9th, 2 years ago, almost, a couple more days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Okay.
That was my first day when I signed up, May 9th, 2023. And then came the big, oh my God, there is so much to learn. And I thought I knew so much about the world. I'm very good in geography.
You were traveled
geography.
more than
I've
the average
traveled,
person
yes.
anyway.
I mean, I've been to, I don't know, all over Europe. I've been to
Right.
Kuwait. I've been to Bulgaria. I've been to, well, now I've also been to like Aruba. And, there's a couple more things I want to do. I was always interested in South Africa because I worked in my previous job. After my apprenticeship, I worked for Siemens in the export, and I worked with South Africa, and they sent me this book about South Africa, all about it, and the pictures, and the South African wine. Oh my God, so delicious.
Really?
Oh my God, the best wine in the world. Because they grow it in 2000.
Sorry, France.
Sorry, France. They build it in 2,000 feet or higher, so there's no no insects, so they don't need any pesticides. So they take all that and just throw everything and kelter it together.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's totally amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I was back, and that was my big dream. I need to go to South Africa, and the other one is Peru. Okay. Those were my two dreams where I know I need to get there somehow. And my parents traveled to Egypt a lot, and so all that was, there was always some travel.
That's so much more than the average person. So you already had the experiences to combine with the new career.
I mean, I've been to Italy 20 times or more. I can't even count it. So
for someone that wants to travel to Europe, I would have a hard time navigating and through it. And then if I went to seek help, I'd want to have someone who's actually gone there.
Yes.
And just like if there's a travel agent in America that's been to all the parks and everything, that makes sense.
So for the first 4 or 5 months, I did nothing but study, learn about the business.
Wow.
With suppliers.
Good for you.
And I mean, I soak up information really quick and easy. It's like my brain always needs to be working. So
absorbing.
I'm like, it's like, it just stays there too. Yeah. Like almost like my grocery orders. I know what's on their grocery orders. If there's something missing, I notice it, second nature. So that, and then I had another, so I signed up with a host agency, a lot of, travel agents. They're independent, but they're connected to a host agency, which supplies them with training, supplies them with suppliers. If you have a big one, there's usually more commission involved in that, so you get higher commission cuts. Then you split. I mean, it's a small fee every month for them to let you do that. It's more like an admin fee.
But it's a network you're connected to.
It's a network I'm connected to.
Good.
So I did a vendor events. I did a bridal event. I went to vendor shows. I went to last year the cruise organizations, big convention.
So you jumped in 2 feet.
I jumped in all the way.
And just tried to absorb as much as you
can
to prepare yourself.
Yes, and I just ran with it.
Awesome.
And then I'm like, how am I going to get clients? I need to make money. I spend a lot, but I need to make money.
And you have all this information.
Yes.
And you want to apply it.
And then you get your first client, and then you're like, oh my God, what am I going to do now?
Yeah.
Now you're like frantic. You plan trips all your life, and you have one client, and you start getting nervous.
Your heart's like, bum, 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 bum.
And let me tell you, my first client, I love her. She didn't know she was my first client at the time. She now does.
Yeah.
We moved it to a different date, and then right before that date, there was a family emergency with her friend that she was going with.
Okay.
So again, we couldn't do that, and then we had to flip it all over.
But that's
again.
not normal. That's not her fault. But that's not on your end.
It's not normal, and it's not.
You had a very challenging first case.
It's very challenging for a first one. And then shortly after I hooked up with her, found her, I found this other amazing lady that was planning a Switzerland, Italy trip
Oh,
for herself and her family of six, two sons and their significant others, her husband, her mother gave her money to travel
awesome.
while she's still alive to experience
Oh,
the joy she's giving them. And so I booked my very first, very big Europe trip, and I had so much fun.
awesome. Awesome.
I had so much. That's what I love. I love the complicated things. I like the challenging thing. I like to be
Yeah.
challenged. That's one thing. I just booking. I do it, but just booking a Caribbean like resort 5 star.
Yeah.
It's 3 clicks and it's done.
Yeah.
That's not challenging to me. I
I always
like.
say teachers remember the bad kids sometimes because they were there to help them progress.
Yes,
So like
and
your tougher clients and your tougher cases, you remember them more because you had to put so much into it.
And it's same with my shopping. I don't like small orders. I
Yeah.
like big orders because to me, a
Of
small order
course.
is a waste of time. I
Yeah.
go in there, it takes 5 minutes. I'm more in the car than
Yep.
so. I like my big orders. I like to time myself. I was like, can I do this in 30 minutes or is it going to take me 35? And then if I make 25, I'm like, hey, I challenged myself.
Woo.
Yeah, so I'm a bit driven like that.
Good.
I'm big on efficiency.
Well, let's talk about how you have grown your business and maybe what I can do with my small but growing audience to try to help you. Let's kind of have that conversation.
So
Okay, so I'm really excited about you telling us how you got to this exciting career, and I can tell you're very passionate about it, which makes me excited to talk to you about it. A little bit of a misconception. Let me ask you first. What is the benefit of using a travel agent if I'm going to create a trip for my family, whether it's abroad or local? What are some of the advantages to using an agent versus not?
So one of the advantages is that you're talking to an expert. You wouldn't want somebody that's doing savings accounts selling a mortgage, for example, right?
Good-
So
good
you
job.
want to go. You want to go to the one that knows what they're doing.
I'm going to use that, by the way. That was awesome. Thank you for that. That was good. Woo.
Well, there's a couple others that I could
Yes,
use, but
yes.
anyhow, so we are supposed to be the experts. So you want to make sure that the travel agent knows about the area that you're going. They know usually about the weather, the logistics, the demographics, things to do in that area. And if they don't, they should do really good research. And that's what we do. We do the research for you. It gets really overwhelming as you as a customer. You go and click on the computer. Okay, I want to go to,
It's
anywhere.
options and options and options.
Just click Jamaica. Jamaica has 4 regions. So how do you know which one is the right one for you? So me as a travel agent, I ask very specific questions. What do you like to do? When do you want to go? Where do you want to go?
That's huge.
What do you like? What are you a foodie? Are you more into history? Are you, are you more into churches? I mean, there's a million things that
Sure.
might be important to you. I don't know you, so I need to get to know you. So I have a form, really simple, that asks all about that. You can fill it out at home. You send it to me. I go over it. I then set up a little meeting, a Zoom or a personal, if it's in the area and they prefer that, even a phone call. We go over it. I said, what are your goals? What is it that you want to achieve with that trip so you can remember this down the road? You don't get that from a computer. Yes, you can go on Expedia. You can click on it. I guarantee you, if something goes wrong with that trip, you have no luck.
Yeah.
I've been there. I before I became a travel agent, I didn't have any kind of protection. We get to that later. And try to find an 800 number that helps you out. It's not happening. Okay, so here I am, 24/7. You have my Facebook, you have my text, you have my phone number, you have my email, and usually
Access.
my WhatsApp. So you can reach me at 3 o'clock in the morning if needed. You just have to call because I will not hear text. So if something goes wrong, I just recently had a client that had to return from a trip to England because Heathrow lost power. So they were mid-flight,
Wow.
had to come back.
Wow.
What a disaster. It took me 16 hours on Saturday to find them a new flight.
Wow.
You do not want to do that yourself. Most chances are you don't have time for it.
Yeah. That's
So,
huge.
Yes, it's huge. So yeah, they called me. They said, hey, we're coming back. We just landed back in Baltimore. I woke up to that. I'm like, oh my God, now what? But I worked for them. I worked for them all day to get them back to their destination. Yeah, did we lose a couple days? Yes, we did. But they still got to do their Europe vacation to 5 different countries.
Mm.
It did a lot of
You
reorganizing.
had to redirect,
But
right?
I did all that. You can't do that by yourself. I mean, you can, but it's just like, do you really want to do that? You just flew back overnight. You're tired, and you want to hang on
Yeah,
the
that'd be
phone all day long.
horrible.
You can't even get. American Airlines shut down the phones eventually because they were overwhelmed, or you waited 3 hours. British Airways didn't even want to talk to you. They said, "Oh, sorry, we are not taking any more phone calls."
Wow.
So I have special numbers as a travel agent that I can maybe get that answer a bit faster.
Huge. Inside track, yeah.
So there is some ways for us to make it better. Again, I do a lot of Europe. I know about Europe. I know the history. You want to go Amalfi Coast? Sure, I'll set you to Amalfi Coast. Here's the tours I recommend. I had one lady just recently over there. Secret tour. Loved it.
Wow.
The tour operator sends me the video of them eating farm to table dinner. Things like that. And it's exciting for me to see my clients having a good time.
That's huge.
So they can rely on one person. We plan it all. We make sure everything is set up correctly. We book the hotels. Even if you want a special dinner, we can do that. The client I just had, she wanted to see the Pope for Holy Mass.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, you have to have tickets
Wow.
to get in there, and you have to be persistent. You have to literally go to the Vatican and apply for tickets. I got her tickets. So, yes.
Yeah, that's huge.
And she got to see him, and then he passed away the next day. So that was for her. This is a lifetime.
That gave me chills.
Yeah. So, and there's other things that we can do. Destination weddings, for example. Cruises, groups, things that you think, oh, I just book a cruise. Well, you don't know what you're getting. Did you know there's like 15 different codes for each room or for each cruise that you may not even know what you're getting?
So that service you're providing is beyond the initial booking.
Yes.
It's also accessibility, helping if there's issues. And then if you have cool ideas during that, they can call you for that. I mean, that's
they
can
ask
huge.
For anything. I'm always available.
So what if something bad happens before the trip? Do I need insurance as a traveler?
So while we cannot make it mandatory in the state of Maryland,
yes,
it is highly recommended.
Good job. Highly recommended.
Highly recommended. I prefer, so we actually have you sign a waiver if you decide not to collect insurance for liability reasons. Because if you come back later and you say, I didn't have insurance, but I want reimbursement, and I cannot prove that I explained it to you, I'm liable. So, I have to have proof. So I will.
But that's important, though.
That is very important. I provide several quotes based on the age, based on your destination, based on where you live, and based on the trip itself.
Okay. So it changes.
Cost. It changes.
The cost
for
of the insurance changes. Okay. I didn't even know that.
So for frequent travelers, we even have an annual protection.
Okay.
So.
Oh, that's great.
That saves you for any travel 100 miles away from home.
Wow.
So even if you go from here to, let's say, Georgia or Boston, and something happens, whatever, your car breaks down, you can't make it to the hotel in time, then you're covered.
Yeah, that's huge.
Things like it's huge,
That's huge.
Or you have to visit your college kid and something's going wrong.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things. Your luggage gets lost. Trip delays. Like my client with her trip, I mean, we had to book a whole new trip. It cost twice as much as the trip she had. We're still waiting on the refund, but who's working with them? I provide them with all the documentation for them to get.
Well, that's another thing. If there is some sort of issue that you have to deal with, you've got someone by your side.
Yes.
Whether it's an insurance issue or not.
But I can help you provide the documentation and let you know what it is.
I've personally tried to contact an 800 number on an online service, and you feel like a piece of crap.
Yeah.
Because they don't, first of all, I'm an intelligent person. I consider myself that. I have to really be careful because you can't get what you want right away. There are multiple layers of that phone call to even get to a human. And then when you do, it's almost like they're trained to not give you what you want.
So a lot of the 800 numbers, call centers, they go by a script.
Yep.
So if it's not on the script, you don't get an answer.
No.
So, I mean, in my previous life, I worked as a car internet sales, and I had a script, but I learned my script,
Yeah.
and I could go back to my script. So they're very trained. You would never know I used the script because I had it implemented.
Right.
And I might still use a script, but you will never know because I'll guide you back to what's important, what I need to know in order to help you.
Yeah, your script is to be able to help them, not to put up roadblocks. And so when you said that, I was like, oh my goodness. I mean, that's
And-
huge.
And yeah, I mean, if you have a $50,000 trip, that insurance ain't going to be cheap. You know, let's face it.
But you're protecting
But you're
a
protecting
$50,000
$50,000 investment. What happens, my other client last year, my very first big trip, they went to Switzerland. While they were there, it rained. They went to Zermatt. Zermatt is only have one road going in. It's a valley, so it ends at a mountain, so you can't get anywhere. So there's one road going in. They called me at 3:40 in the morning or left me a message. They said, we may need a plan B. We have major flooding. Okay.
That road was
So I woke up at 6 o'clock. I called her. I said, what's the status? Let me know. So like about 8 o'clock, she said, yeah, we can't get anywhere. We need a plan B. I said, okay, where do you want to go?
So
they
immediate
called me-
redirect.
Yeah.
During the vacation, they're already overseas.
They're overseas.
You had to
So not
redirect.
only was it flooding, the rivers rose. There was they blocked the road in or out. So Zermatt was cut off from the world. They
Yeah.
could not get in. Luckily, it was before they got in.
Mm-hmm.
I immediately went to work. I said, okay, tell me where else you want to go. They told me a place. That was in June, middle of season. Okay, 6
Wow.
people, 3 rooms. I got them a new hotel at the new thing within a half an hour, and they got all their money back for the insurance later on. That's huge. That was like $3,500. Who can dish that out and be happy with it?
And I keep thinking to myself, in that scenario, what if that family did not get an agent and tried to book
Right.
through? First of all, it's not one website for all that. You are multiple layers and layers and layers.
And I still did the research on the hotel to make sure it's okay for them. You know, it was close to the lake. It was, you know, it was still nice. It was the last 3 rooms. They were happy, you know, and I was like, you know.
But they had you. The whole point is that they had you. And had they not, I
Yes.
cannot imagine that experience had they not.
And I mean, even going to the Caribbean, we have so many issues sometimes with transfers. Like people book a transfer and then their transfer doesn't show up. Or they don't know what to book. They book a shared transfer versus a private transfer.
Yep.
You know, on a shared transfer, you can sit there at the airport for 5 to 6 hours, but nobody tells you that. Till that shuttle is full and then they take you. They might wait for 2 or 3 more flights. Because they're not just going to take 2 if they can take 6
waste of their
for
time
the
and
same money.
Yep.
Right. So who are you going to call? Nobody there is going to help you because you didn't book through them. You booked through a third party like Booking.com or Kayak or Expedia or whatever their names are.
Yeah, that 800 number is not going to help
Good luck to you.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to say. You know.
Yeah, that's huge. All right, so let's find out, if you don't mind, who's a great customer for you? Because not everybody is booking trips. But who's a good customer for you, Michaela? And tell the audience so I can try to help you grow your business a little bit.
So for me, the perfect customer is somebody who wants to get an experience anywhere in the world. However, Europe is my
Niche?
forte, so to speak, because I've been everywhere there. So I know most about that. But yeah, even if it's South America, if it's Australia, if it's somewhere in the Middle East, I love the Middle East, by the way. Dubai, stunning. And not as expensive as many think. You know, those would be the people that I love to talk to.
Okay.
That want an experience, not just laying on a beach. Of course, I take you. I mean, I want you to have a relaxing vacation as well. But for me, the perfect one would be that. Or groups of any kind. Whether it be a reunion, a church group, faith weddings, destination weddings are very big.
So the faith community is a potential customer because you can help out large groups on missions.
We can do faith-based trips.
Okay.
Businesses that want to do either their own seminars, maybe at sea. We do seminars at sea, so you can get your whole, you know, company together, and we'll send you off on a cruise. Why not? You know, have a nice little cruise. It might not cost you more than booking a convention center somewhere. And
that was my next question: is what types of businesses would be good referral partners for you? And you kind of hinted at that. Any company large enough to have an incentive-based trip where they probably have employees, or a major event for the company.
Yes.
Okay. Keep going. What else?
Retreats. A lot of businesses like to do
leadership
leadership retreats, yoga. yoga retreats, meditation retreats,
Awesome.
health retreats. I'm working on one for um, diabetes and celiac retreat.
Wow.
That's very specialty because a
The
lot
medical
of,
community themselves?
yeah,
Okay.
because it's very, my fiance, my future husband, has celiac, which is gluten free, and diabetes 1. So it's very
It's
hard to
close to your heart.
find, yeah, it's very hard to get them good food that
Yeah.
works for their diet.
Yes.
They want to enjoy, the same food as we do, or the average person does, but they're very limited. And I think a retreat could help them overall understanding their condition, understanding what it does to you if you
Wow.
don't follow it, what they can cook with what's given. There's like cooking. I want to do like a cooking session in
Oh
there,
my
maybe a
gosh.
shopping session in there. What's good for them?
That's
Like a lot of
exciting.
education, exercise that's good for them, maybe in the water or things like that. Maybe a little health thing, why you need to take care of your body different than other people do.
Yeah.
That's what I'm working on right now.
Well, and then so when you said, by the way, that's fantastic. By the way, I realized something else. Not every traveler can eat everything on the menu at their
Yes.
destination location.
Yes.
So any kind of specialty allergy or something without a travel agent, you're really trusting whatever's posted on the site.
Yes. So we can
And
specify that when we
yeah, that's
send you
huge.
somewhere, or even assistant, any kind of travel assistance needed, disabilities.
Hmm.
My granddaughter's in a wheelchair, so um, there's a lot to be considered about too. So
Yeah,
I
different
am
set of
certified in
logistics.
that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's huge. I'm glad we went over all this. This is huge. Okay, so I've got a fun question to end our interview today, and I told you about it ahead of time. I love the face you're making right now.
There's so
So
much.
the camera's on you, not me. Last question of the day. You've been
Mhm.
amazing, and I appreciate it.
Mhm.
What is your superpower, Michaela? What is it? Or are you in the process of trying to discover it still? And that's
Oh
okay.
no, I think efficiency.
I think. Okay. Oh, that's a first one. Your superpower is efficiency.
Yeah,
How
I'm
well
like,
matches your career, by the way,
oh
for
my
that?
gosh, I don't like wasting any time. Everything is like set up to be the most efficient way. Whether it's my grocery shopping, where
Hmm.
I plan ahead of time before I go in the store that it's in the same area, so everything is laid out. So nothing throws me off more than when I'm at the register and the customer says, "Can you add a bag of chips?" And I gotta walk all the way to the back. That's the worst. So efficiency also means like if I plan my trips, I plan them the best way. If somebody says I want to visit 5 places in 5 days, I will tell them straight out we can't do that. Even the best efficient person is not going to do that. But I love efficiency. I do it all the time. I hate backtracking. I plan everything,
Yeah.
so I save time. Time is a big thing for me. I don't have a lot, so time is a big thing. So
I could argue we
anywhere I
don't. I
can,
could argue nobody has a lot of time.
yeah, we
Right.
make time. So that's another thing. We always make time for things that are important to us, and because we just don't have enough.
Yeah.
And for me, efficiency is part of that, to really make it as good as it can be with the time I have given,
I love that.
so to speak.
So your superpower is efficiency.
I think so.
Well, thank you so much for coming today
You're welcome.
to my podcast. So everyone that visits and chats with me, because it is the Connected to the Web podcast, I simply say now you are connected
Yay!
to the web with 2 B's, not 1 B. So this is our own little web. So
All right.
I'm looking forward to trying to help you grow your business.
Thank you.
Anybody that's listening that loves this awesome personality, and more importantly, is considering a trip, whether it's business or personal, please give my friend a call and just let her be efficient on your behalf. So thank you so much. Thank you. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching the Connected to the Web podcast. I will see you guys next time, and I appreciate your time you spent with us. My wonderful guest, Michaela, and I appreciate your time. Thank you. And bye-bye.
Bye.